But there's some weird little phrases that I start using that are Spanish, and I say them to English speakers. The last thing that I'm going to read about in today's episode of Making Friends is something I don't suggest you ever do. It's so stupid at 19. Hello, my name is Sarah, and this channel is Sarah Refined. On Thursdays, I've been doing a series called Travel Story Thursdays, where I read from this book. It's my journal that I kept for 6 months while I was traveling across Spain. This is episode 3. If you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, you can go ahead and click this little box right here. So without further ado, let's pick up where we left off. So we left off in the last video with me arriving in Barcelona and going off, meandering down some train track on a train, not walking. Well, I spent that day and the entire most of the next day alone. I remember sitting on my bunk on that second night, thinking and writing about how much I wanted someone else to just come talk to me or someone to invite me into their group. I was really shy and was very uncomfortable making the first move. But then I was thinking to myself that no one knows who I am. And I realized that I could kind of be who I wanted and whoever I imagined myself to be, and I could kind of try different sides and different personalities with each city because no one was going to know me and no one was going to have any previous judgments of me, right? Like there's no previous bias. So that being said, I walked down to the common room and I bought a beer. I remember putting on my favorite black jeans, my black cowboy boots, and my leather jacket. That was pretty much my look, and that was always my comfortable clothing, I guess. So I remember standing at the bar, ordering a drink, and looking around the cafeteria area and the common area, thinking like, okay, just like act cool and confident. Someone's gonna come see you, someone's gonna talk to you. And then I heard English speakers. And that is where we are going to pick up on today's reading. January 21st, 2013, Monday, but in Spanish. Lunes. I really enjoyed throwing Spanish words into my language, and it comes through in my journaling in the most awkward, pretentious, uncomfortable ways. January 21st. Last night, I went down to the common room. While I was waiting for a beer, I heard English, and so I ran over to the guys talking, and I was like, hey, English speakers, can I join you? Of course, they said yes. So that introduced me to 3 guys. And then over the course of the night, I met more. I still haven't met a single girl. I want to try and remember everyone, so here goes. First, I met Ken and Anthony, brothers from Ohio. Then there's Jack from Ireland. More on him in 7 weeks. Mark from Britain and Diego from Brazil. Diego is gay and the funniest person I've ever met. At this time in my life, my brother was the only gay person I knew. Even though there are other people who are definitely in the LGBTQ area there, they weren't fully out and they definitely weren't integrating in my circle. So because of that, me meeting Diego, a gay Brazilian, was very opening my eyes of like, whoa, there's more of them and they're cool. Like I was just so naive and sheltered that I had so many misconceptions about people. So there are a few times where I pop in with like mentioning their race or mentioning their sexuality, and it's just because I was so excited to be increasing that into my life, but at the same time I didn't even realize how little of it I had. So it was one of the first things I think that started off my whole self-awareness journey, and realizing you don't know everything, you haven't experienced anything. There are also 2 guys from Germany named Aaron and Ozan. There was a really cute guy named Simon, but he didn't come out with us. Oh yeah, we did a pub crawl. Basically, we all paid €15 and we got a shot, 2 beer, and free entry into a club. Ozan was really drunk and we danced a long time and kinda maybe made out. But it was somewhat weird because I was the only girl. It was like a pub crawl with like 15 guys, and I really wanted to go out, so I did. But yeah, I was the only girl. And so while I wanted to dance with more guys, I didn't want to lead anyone else on and appear whorish. And that, ladies and gentlemen, sums up my thoughts on feminism until 7 years ago. Well, 6, because I've done a lot of discovery in the last 6 years and realized I was still holding on to thoughts like that, where if I thought that I danced with one person and then I chose to dance with another person, I was now a dirty, dirty hole. I hope you don't think that way, and if you do, let's talk, because that's not okay. And no, that's not how that works at all. That is pretty much where I ended Monday. On to Tuesday, January 22nd. This is where I started using my very first Spanish phrases in reply to other people who didn't necessarily, they spoke English very well, but I wanted to try my phrases out on them. I forgot to tell you that Diego asked, "Are you a natural ginger?" And I said, "Sí, ese rojo es natural." Please don't come for me about my Spanish accent. I know it's horrific. It wasn't always this bad. I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I've been trying to learn Italian and German and French in the last year. So maybe my pronunciations and languages are different, but I know it's bad, I know. Diego just laughed at me. And now that I think about it, I should have told Ozan, "Tu atractivo, pero no estoy interesado," which basically translates, "You're attractive, but I'm not interested." Which just goes to further point out, I kissed him even though I didn't like him because he was dancing with me and I was dancing with him, and I thought that because I danced with him and said hello, I now owed him hello. So then I go on to talk about how I went to La Sagrada Familia and I wanted to climb a staircase and get lost and explore as if I was going to discover something in this church that's still being built. I wasn't going to read this part because I find it's not all that relevant. I just wanted to point out how much I thought that if someone dressed differently than me, or if they liked something I hadn't heard of, I was just like,
"You are weird. Like, what the heck? People are so strange. What is this world coming to?"
And this just goes to show that, because listen to this description and let me know what you think. So the elevator opens. The guy, Mark, steps off. He is dressed odd. Leggings under a normal guy's shorts and a long sleeve under the spandex shirt. I don't get it. Fashion is so awkward for tourists. First of all, girl, you are a tourist. Second of all, do you not think he was perhaps dressed for a brisk run in the cold January of Barcelona? Because I don't think he was just wearing spandex for fun now. But clearly back then, I thought he was just making some fashion decision. January 24th. This is where I met my second friend. The last thing that I'm going to read about in today's episode of Making Friends is something I don't suggest you ever do. And then a man who looked like he was about 30 to 35 asked if I wanted to have some tea. I assumed he meant at a shop, but we definitely went to his house. It was pretty funny. I didn't feel too uncomfortable because he was a Bob Marley fan. Bob Marley fans are awesome. That's all I wrote on that entire situation. And I don't know why, because what actually happened is that I did go to his house, but it was a house that he lived at. He had a room under the stairs like Harry Potter, and he had a little cook stove in there, so we sat on his bed, which was now made up to be a couch, and he made tea. We sat, we listened to music, we talked, we had tea. I trusted my gut, and that's the only reason. I thought to myself quite often, wow, Sarah, you did not tell anyone you were coming here. You don't actually know where you are. This man saw you taking photos of the marketplace and he knows you're a tourist because of it, and that's why he started talking to you. You are in a foreign country and no one knows where you are and you have no cell service. I don't know how I did not get kidnapped. It's so stupid at 19. Anyway, I trust my gut. This guy seemed really cool and I enjoyed talking to him because he had some interesting stories, and I forget where he was from. I really don't remember anything about him. Or I said finally, okay, I'm starting to get some twinges, I should get going. I should let people know where I am. I said I was gonna start going home and he wanted to walk me to the hostel. Well, first he wanted to drive me and I said no because I didn't want to get into a vehicle with a stranger. At least I wasn't totally out of it. And then we walked to, I gave him a different hostel address that I'd also been considering. I had it in my phone, thank goodness, and we walked there. I said goodbye. He's like, "I'll see you tomorrow at noon." I just said, "Yes, I will see you here tomorrow at noon." Waited for him to leave, and then ran back to my little hostel. Obviously never saw him again. Alright, well, I've been filming for half an hour and I'm hoping to try to keep these videos under 10 minutes because I wanted them to just be a fun little spat in your day. So I'm gonna go. My name is Sarah. This is Sarah Refined. Thank you for being here on my Travel Story Thursday as we rehash all the unrefined things I've done and why this channel is called what it is. Girl needs work. Thank you for being here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this series so far, please subscribe and consider hitting that notification bell so that you are one of the first people to see these videos. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear them in the comment section below. We can chat. I will see you next Tuesday with an upload of something, which is currently undecided, and I will see you next Thursday with episode 4, where I move on from Barcelona, head to Zaragoza. I'll see you in that one. Bye!